All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because this is a podcast. And there is a blog called My FX Buddies, and you can find that at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. There's audio and video at spotify.com and also Apple podcasts. I don't know, whatever they call theirs. What else? There's a transcript for those of you who can't understand me at rss.com. That's my FX Buddies. And what else? And the video that is posted on the blog is hosted at Rumble, my FX Buddies. And finally, YouTube. If you are listening to this on YouTube, you are in fact listening. The video is not here. What appears to be a video, if you look at below that box and hit the word more, then another box will open and there's a link to the blog in that box. Also, anywhere you are enjoying this content, if there is a box that says description, information, something like that, if you open that, there will be a link to the blog. All right, and this one you might want to go because earlier today I was so excited about an article I couldn't wait to do the blog. I just did a video, but I have embedded the video on the blog. All right, so I think that's everything. Yeah, all right. So we'll go to it. So today is Monday, September 23rd, 2024. This is episode 112, and it's early enough that it should get posted today also. So Sunday was another good day. I could have made a post, but it just didn't work out. Sadani is in New York. He already gave a speech. I was so surprised he went on Sunday. So the full speech is on the blog, and I'll touch on that in a minute. What else? A lot of emphasis. It's something about the future, but we'll get into that. And there's a lot of emphasis on digitization. There's 5G, focus on 5G. They had this 3-year contract with Nokia. Now, but with that, they're talking about something else. They're calling it banded microwave. And they're not saying 5G. They're not saying 6G. So I don't know. I'm going to look into that. I didn't post the article because that has nothing to do with the RV, but just showing how they're moving forward in the areas that they're allowed to. They are moving forward. If you didn't listen to episode 111, you should. There was some good, it was short. I think it was 20 minutes, and there's some good information in there, if I do say so myself. Some of it was shared with me. All right, so now let's get to today. Central Bank of Iraq launches Financial Sustainability Map Project. So this was really big news. And who's the header? Ali Alak. Al Alak announces a roadmap for financial sustainability for the Iraqi banking sector. So usually when I see the word sustainability, that is tied to Agenda 2030. If you don't know what Agenda 2030 is, please educate yourself on that. It's not only an American thing. It's a plan to basically control the movements of humanity around the world. If you've noticed, how come no one can go to Antarctica or whatever, if it's Arctica or Antarctica, whatever, right? Only like scientists and people like that get to go. I mean, who wants to go vacation there, right? But I'm sure there are some people who would. But more and more, they're cordoning off lands and certain areas, saying, oh, you humans, you'll just tear this up. We need to conserve this. And they cut it off. And I know they do it here in America. And I know they do it in other countries. And I don't know why I'm talking about this. Anyway, but after reading these articles today, the sustainability here seems to be talking about they're taking all these steps to modernize and digitize and strengthen the banking sector, that once we kind of step back, which won't be anytime soon, let me tell you, but once we step back from them, we don't want them to fall apart again. And that's what a lot of this is. So now don't freak out when you read this. We are pleased to announce a roadmap for the financial sustainability of the banking sector in Iraq for the years 2023 through 2029. We are not going to be here 6 years. Even me, with my long vision self, some people, you keep moving your day. Well, yes, as another day comes, you have to move to another time. So if we're still here in January and it doesn't happen, guess what? I'm going to say April, because that would be the next time that I would think it would happen. So it's called a progression. As things pass, you got to move on and go with the future, right? Look, September's here. September's almost gone. 8 days and September's gone. And are you paying attention to what's happening in Lebanon? If not, I got an article here for you. So, yeah, so you should read this article. It's very good. Now, they do also talk about environmental aspects. So, there is a little bit of that sustainability that is the 2030. But see, they say environmental, social, and governance standards. So that's ESG, right? ESG, which people are waking up and moving, recognizing it's not the best thing for us, the citizens, right? But yeah, so if you read this, maybe you'll come to the same conclusion as I have, that we're doing all these things to prop them up and get them on their own. We don't want them to just get off of what we've put them on and then crash, right? I mean, some people wouldn't care, right? We got our money, we're living our new fabulous life, right? But yeah, so that's what that is. And they got interviewed on TV. It's paired with or affiliated. What's the right word? Joined with, I guess would be the right word. So to do this, it's Aliyah Locke praised the role played by international experts at the International Finance Corporation, which is IFC. Does that sound familiar? I, F as in Frank, C as in cat, affiliated with the World Bank Group, and their effective contribution in preparing the roadmap for financial sustainability for the banking sector in Iraq. And blah, blah, blah. There's a little bit more. So you should read that, because this is a very big deal to them, right? Okay, also, we have the full text of Sudani's speech that he gave on Sunday. There's nothing really new. They go global, then they go back to Iraq, and they're talking about their national development plan from 2024 to 2028. Again, don't panic about that. They have to plan. When you build things, you have to plan. Like China plans out 50 years of stuff, right? We do 5, 10, 15, right? So, yeah. that we have adopted a strategy that advances vulnerable groups. So yeah, this is we stress the need to give Iraq priority in climate finance. Yeah, gotta have that. So he's playing right along, doing what he has to do to keep us happy and keep Iran happy. And what a life, right? So there, the whole speech is there if you want to read it. Here is another thing that they're there for. The Prime Minister's advisor, is this Mohammed Saleh? This is a different one. Saleh Mahood. But he's here. I think he's here in America, in New York. They took 8 steps to improve the technology sector. And is there a picture? No, not here, but in another article, there's a picture. There's about 8 of them in the group. But anyway, so yeah, they want to, have a stronger, more stable internet partnership with private sector to accelerate technological development, encourage local and foreign investment in the technology sector. So all the stuff they've been doing, they just need the people, probably the youthful people, right? I'd say 30 and under. They need them to get trained. They want entrepreneurs. So they got to get them trained and up and running, and then they can do all of this. All right. Sadani is having lots of meetings. So let's see. Today's Monday. They didn't even show any people that he met with that I saw, and maybe because what's going on in Lebanon is taking up much of the news. Right now, I'm watching football, but I will catch up tonight on what's going on. But so he's met with the Yemeni president, the Kuwaiti crown prince. He's met with, I keep calling this man Nigerian. He is not Nigerian. Oh, he met with Anthony Blinken. So you know what that was about. And there it is. If you're on the blog, you can see Aza, AZA, in Lebanon. All right. But who's the guy? Kenyan. And I feel so bad. I keep mixing him up with the Nigerian. But Prime Minister meets Kenyan president in New York. So there's all kinds of meetings happening. All right. So we we put out an article. Washington seeks comprehensive reform of Iraqi banks, and some sanctioned banks are defrauding. It cuts off that's the headline, but I think they're defrauding not the people, but organizations. So this is basically it, I don't think there's anything really new here. See here, they're talking about KPMG, Ernst & Young, K2I, Oliver Wyman. So they're talking about, how money has to go through the U.S. Treasury and all that. So that's not new news. But if you go down to the bottom, see this like subtitle here? Failure to renew the banking system means meeting the Iranian fate. So they talk about when Ali Alak was here. They talk about update banking work. But the very last segment, so there's more. Circumventing sanctions, how they know some people are getting around them, how they're getting around them. And the rift between Iraq banks, which are remember the Jordanian banks and the other banks that we have brought into Iraq, and they're getting better treatment than the Iraq banks. So they talk about that. They talk about how the citizens still prefer to use cash. But here's the last paragraph is dedicated specifically to the Iranian destiny. So, yeah, Iran is really, they know 2 things. If Orange Man bad gets in, that's going to be rough for them. And when, I'm going to say when, Iraq gets their freedom, gets their money back, and the new rate, that's going to be another hit to them. So, with that, look at this. Some of you already heard this, but some of you did not. Today, this article came out. Iraq plans currency redenomination amid economic challenges. And I'm not really sure what the economic challenges are other than they're being held back. Corruption, right, is a challenge, but they still haven't done the budget tables, and Sudani is probably going to be here a week, maybe even through Saturday. This meeting, it's an annual meeting. They have it every year. It goes the whole week. Now, that doesn't mean everyone who comes has to stay a week, but I do think Sudani is going to be here, and I think he has a meeting. He wants to have a meeting Saturday with Ali Alak, the undersecretary to the Treasury, and some other, probably Federal Reserve people, whatever. And hopefully, these will be the last meetings they have to tie everything up, right? So we'll see. We'll see if he's here all week or whatever. I'll be watching and I'll be reporting. But anyway, so this article also came from Herbal, which is in Kuwait. And it's just a different way. It was special how it came to me and everything, right? So, what time is it? Okay. The Central Bank of Iraq has announced that discussions regarding the project to remove zeros from the Iraqi dinar are ongoing, with assessments continuing. The bank also noted a reduction in reliance on the US dollar for trade transactions. That's not new information. Plus, this whole weekend, there were articles about the 3 zeros being removed. Ali Alak was interviewed by Al Jazeera.net or Al Jazeera, whatever, about removing the 3 zeros. So lots of talk about it. And the reason, when you read the articles that are written out of Baghdad, they say countries remove 3 zeros off of their currencies to combat high inflation and something else, some other reason. Neither of those reasons apply to Iraq. Iraq is not high inflation. In fact, in the global economy, their inflation is pretty low, unlike, Europe and ours. So it wasn't that, and whatever the other reason was doesn't apply to them either. So let's go. Here's the second sentence. Ali Alak stated the bank is facing global economic challenges such as rising energy and raw material prices. To address these issues, it has amended some monetary policies in line with the international situation, aiming to increase confidence in the Iraqi dinar and prevent a significant decline in its value. So there's one, increased confidence in the Iraqi dinar. And nothing, that's not new info, right? The central bank has also increased its holdings of foreign currency and gold, blah, 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 right? We know that. That's not new information. Now, many countries remove zeros from their currencies to revalue the national currency and facilitate financial transactions. Yes, they use the word revalue, right? Yeah. Okay, then the next sentence says, this process involves eliminating a certain number of zeros from the nominal value of the currency, making it less inflationary and more stable. Okay, so there's a little bit more, but I did this video here. This video is like 9 minutes. So you could watch this video and hear the rest, because here's another article that came out later in the day. So when we in Dinarland find these articles, and then people start going to the article, well, they know. They count how many visitors are hitting their websites. They know where in the world you're coming from. So if they want more traffic to their websites, guess what they do? They put out another form of that article. And so later in the day, after the morning, I found this. And this was actually I think this was in the more of the Baghdad area news. Removing zeros from the Iraqi dinar is back in the spotlight. Strengthening the currency or just changing its form? So there's two, strengthening the currencies. Well, three actually, right? So they basically took that that article that I just got finished reading, and they did add some other details to it. Here they say countries remove zeros from their currency to revalue their national currency and simplify financial transactions. Same thing, right? This is done by removing, so see, same thing. They put that there. Here they said the most famous countries that have implemented this process more than once successfully were Turkey and the former Yugoslavia. They go on to talk about Ali Alak and what he's doing. And then again, about the reserves. So it says, now this is in this article, but not in the one earlier. The issue is not new. So the issue of deleting zeros. The issue is not new and was previously discussed about 14 years ago, right? And so there's more. So I suggest you read this. And if there's people in your life that don't believe this is going to happen or they don't see anything different, these are two good articles to give them to read. Okay, so they made this one a lot longer. Okay, so here, usually I would put this at the bottom of the blog, but I have another article about the roadmap with a bunch of pictures, and you know how my skills are, my technological skills. I couldn't format it right, so I had to put all those pictures down at the bottom and put this here. Pentagon warns of regional conflict, but the three-letter word for conflict, announces sending U.S. forces to Middle East. Not good. Not good at all. So, does it say where? I don't think it says exactly where. But there's no, our young people, male, female, they shouldn't be going. I was listening to someone and they were like, Arabs and Jews have been killing each other for decades, centuries, actually, right? We should not be sending our young people. And I'm like, they kind of got a point. But, we've signed on that we'll support Ice Cream Land, right? So, I don't know. But anyway, so that's not good. But that's what's happening. And if you look in regular news, I'm sure you could find it. I don't know though, they might be trying to downplay it because of the time, we're in a campaign. What are we in right now? Campaign season, right? So they don't really want the conflict being brought to light, but enough people are. All right. So here's the other. Central Bank of Iraq launches Financial Sustainability Map Project. This article is actually on the CBI website. They had it on the CBI website. They tweeted it. So it's definitely, like I said, something they want their people to see. And here are the pictures. Here's Ali Alak. See, here's this IFC. Now see how it says Kingdom of the Netherlands? Somehow The Kingdom of the Netherlands is involved in that as well. So here's the CBI flag, and here's the flag of Iraq. And this is a small group. And look at this person. They have on jeans and a hoodie. So I'm like, they must be American. They must be technical, part of the technical crew. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. So see, here's the room. It's not a, they definitely could have had more tables. So this seems to be a select few that were invited to come to this. And see, Aaliyah Locke did most of the speaking. And here he is, Aaliyah Locke. So he's real. I don't think he's leaving anytime soon, right? They're just launching this. This is something they're just launching. I don't know. He could launch it and then retire. But here's these four. To me, they seem like they would be the ones to take over. And yeah, so that's that. And then there they are. This is a real. Isn't it scary that these people have their own flag? The IFC, they have their own flag. So when something is officially official, they sign with the flags on the table, and they sign like these, they're like binders, no, attaches, I don't know, really fancy, just like when our president signs a law into law, and it has the fancy little cover that the paperwork's in, same thing for them. And there they are, and then there they are, smiling, taking pictures. Look at us. We've done it. Whatever it is, we have done it. All right, so then of course there's lots of talk about the development path road, and more countries want in on that. But I know that has nothing to do with the RV, so I don't report on that. So there really is a lot going on. It's all good. It's all modernizing, pushing them forward. One thing they did cancel, the QR codes. They were trying to, oh, you know what? I forgot to put, they are retroactively paying some people. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to pause. Hold on. All right. So I'm back. So I have inserted this article. Retroactively starting the procedures rather, for dispersing the student grant, and noting that it will be dispersed retroactively from the beginning of the current academic year. So here we have the promise. They're promising more people, and these are students like 20s, maybe even into their 30s, right? So yeah, they're promising people, hey, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you. And we're going to pay you retroactively. It's because the budget goes back, right? And remember when they approved, we're on the second year, right? We're on the second year of the 3-year budget, aren't we? But they can always go back and make everything retroactive. That was part of their approval when they approved the new, that budget. So it says the ministry is keen to distribute the student grant to those who deserve it, as it enhances the scientific aspect of students and pupils who are below the poverty line. So I thought that was interesting. And if they're doing it for this one group, who's to say they're not doing it for others? And I just didn't see the article, right? All right, so now I'm done for certain because we're at 30 minutes. All right, so it was another good day, another 2 days, in fact, of good articles. Things are moving not as fast as we would like, but we'll still keep looking. It's only Monday. Let's see what else happens during this week. So I will end this. Oh, and I want to say thank you. I got some support. So thank you. You know who you are. And the So accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. What else? Wherever you're enjoying this content, if there's a follow, join, subscribe, if there's a word like that, do whatever action is necessary to activate that, because I don't update regularly. And when I do update, if technology works as it is intended, you'll be notified that I updated. All right. So I think that's everything. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.